Hey guys, this is Bernard here again. Welcome back. For those who don't remember us or who are new to listening, my name is Benny. I'm just a dude of mixed origin. Uh, do you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
um, Currently unemployed with Jamie and Dan here. Jamie and Dan, quick intro,
Oh,
please.
I am also unemployed. This is very sad. But no, but no, yeah, quick recap on all of us. So we all met in hotel school, hence the name Hotel Dropout of this channel. Uh but yeah, I mostly do 3D art. Dan?
And we're all not in the hotel industry anymore. In the hotel industry.
We all quit.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Dan. I'm also, you could say, unemployed, self-employed. Actually, I guess that's the right term. Met these two fine gentlemen when I was studying for hotel management. I'm not as mixed of origin. Well, actually, Jamie, I don't think you're that mixed of origin as well.
I think you and I are
Bernard,
both
you're more unique
purebreds.
about this.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
purebreds and
So welcome everyone. We're pure bread, like
And
the
I'm
one
the
that you eat. Pure baguette.
pure bread. Like
actually,
white, not whole grain. Just
Jamie is more whole grain. I guess I'm more white bread.
hey, wait a minute. I don't remember if I painted the skin tone right for our channel thumbnail. I think I did. Yeah.
I think you did.
I think you do.
Yeah. You're the whitest. Okay. Right. So a little catch up, and then eventually we'll talk about dating today. So
Okay.
yeah,
You take that.
Christmas is coming up. How are you guys celebrating? Actually, I'm curious. How do people approach Christmas in Latvia versus Switzerland?
I'm not sure how people approach Christmas in Switzerland, but Latvia, I would say, is, since most of the population is Catholic, it's your classical Christmas, like Western Christmas. Then we have a part that are of Russian ethnicity. They celebrate more of New Year. I guess it's related to the fact that back in the Soviet times it was frowned upon, or at some points it was really somewhat dangerous to do anything religious related. So
Oh,
kind of Christmas went away, and instead of Christmas, it all kind of combined in New Year's. So for us, New Year, for me too, because I'm of Russian ethnicity, New Year's was always like the time when you meet with your family, and also the time when you party.
with your family?
Nah, usually I would have a dinner with my family, wait for like the actual New Year, and then just run to my friends to party.
Like the sound effect, Jung. But are there any traditions like because for you guys, Christmas would happen around the time of Chinese New Year for me, and obviously people know that Chinese New Year it's the time you get money, and if you're an adult, you give money. It's kind of annoying. Do you guys get anything? Are there any gifts giving? Any traditions like that?
Oh yes, of course. We give our gifts. Well, when I was a child, I would open up my gifts in the morning, like we would pretend that Santa brought the gifts during the night. But of course, as I aged up, we started to give our gifts like before the celebration, like on that same evening, but like before we finish, and even before the dinner, actually,
Are there
usually.
okay? Are there Because I was thinking, like in the Russian culture, would are there any? Is there anything that you give that would be triggering to people? Are there any inappropriate Christmas gifts? Because I feel like in the Western culture, there really isn't any limit. As long as you give somebody something, it's usually good. But in Chinese New Year, right? Like if I give somebody a red envelope and if it's a number that is unlucky, then it would be seen as an insult, right? So for instance, if I give somebody $444, it means I'm cursing them to die 3 times. And so you need to avoid specific numbers.
But at least with money. Well, I guess if you would give someone a present that has 666 written on it, that would kind of be weird. Well, for me and my friends, and I guess even my family, it would be more like a thing to laugh about because we're not that really superstitious or religious. But I guess for some people are more of that, they would be offended. Something like that. I guess it's also possible. 666, right? Is that the devil's
Satan. I'm kind of shocked that you guys are more Catholic in terms of your celebrations, because I always thought the Orthodox influence would be much stronger in Latvia, at
Nah,
least.
like for me, well, maybe it's because I live in Latvia
Mhm.
and all our celebrations start like it's a Christian country, it's a Catholic country, so you get your days off when the Catholics are celebrating. I think you can technically submit request to switch your days off, so you can work on Christmas, but then you get your days off when the Russian Christmas is happening. But I've never heard anyone, and myself as well, do it. So at one point, me and Arina just decided that we were going to celebrate like we're Catholics, because it doesn't really change that much for us. And we give our gifts to each other on Christmas, and then we have like a whole week usually off, and then we have time to like use our presents and just chill and have fun.
Wait, Bernard muted himself. I don't know if it's intentional, but he did mention something about movers, so it might be loud.
It is intentional.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I feel like the background sound is a bit too loud, I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of presents, did you guys see the whole Amazon strike thing? Because it's Christmas time, so Amazon, a lot of the I forgot what's it about. It's not the actual Amazon workers. It's a contractor that is contracted by Amazon, and then they do the final packaging. So it's like, kind of like a subcontractor, but they're still indirectly hired by Amazon, and they are rebelling by by throwing a strike.
No, I'm not really in the news right now. My main focus the last couple of days have been helping my parents move houses.
I've seen something about it, but like just headlines.
Yeah, do you guys have Amazon? I don't remember you ordering packages when I visited you.
I'm not an online bestseller guy.
I order from the German Amazon usually. Before I would also sometimes order from the UK Amazon, but now since they're not part of the EU, at some point it was more complicated because of customs. So I just kind of stopped ordering from there altogether.
Oh, customs, man. Did you have to? You had to pay for custom. Was it VAT when I sent you like a little package of Taiwanese treats? Did you have to pay? How much did you have
No,
to pay?
I think I didn't. I didn't have to pay anything because as long as it's not too expensive and you don't get them that much, you can mark it as a present, and then it's all fine. But if I would keep getting packages from you, then at a certain point, the government would assume that it's some sort of economic activity, and that would be taxed.
For us, it's random. So sometimes you just get taxed, and then so that means a lot of people in Taiwan, it's a long time ago, but then they used to buy you know sexy things from Amazon because they want like the Western technology. Somehow vibrators from the West are just different, I guess. But they would buy it, and then so it would have like
They're exotic,
yeah, they would
even
have
though
like
they're probably made nearby.
exactly right. they're usually manufactured in Taiwan, and then it's kind of it's ironic because we're buying it in
Germany, and then you order it from Germany again.
exactly.
Funny.
And then so they usually have discreet packaging, but when it
Mhm.
comes through customs, you need to declare what it is. And so the guy would actually he would deliver the goods to your house, and he would be right there waiting for you to sign and say, okay, what is this? And you have to declare it, otherwise it would be fraud.
It's my massage stick.
A general dog toy. You could say it like that. Wait,
Vibrating dog toy.
oh man, Benny, what's Christmas like? You haven't spoken about it.
Well, I mean, I won't say I'm the most well versed in the Christmas holidays, considering I dropped out of faith, and usually Christmas is a pretty religious thing. But I feel like over the years, it's starting to get more commercial than religious. And also, I don't know if you know, but the Santa Claus in Switzerland usually comes on the 6th, and he has a donkey and a chimney sweeper following him, and they
What?
usually give out candies.
What? Wait, why a
So
donkey? Why not reindeers?
um, I'm pretty sure he's called the Schmutzeli, where he's like the guy who's going down the chimney, so he's dirty. Like
Hmm.
he's usually like black faced and cold up and
Oh
stuff.
my god!
Hmm.
I think
Yeah, it is. The Swiss traditions can come across as sus.
so that is Santa Claus himself, right? Because I remember
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I remember hearing about like the Dutch one, and it was a sound effect. Is that a thing that we're gonna do now?
All the way.
Thing.
Oh man, all of it. Just when I was about to do a blackface controversy, you do that. Man, how do but how,
It's okay, bro. It's a prank.
It's just a prank, bro.
but how does it work for you? Because your family is your mother is not a Catholic, right?
Well, she was raised Buddhist, and then when she married my father, I believe she converted into Roman Catholic.
Wonder if there's like a process to converting to because I've heard of people converting to Islam, converting to Judaism, but then for Catholics it just seems like you just say, "Oh, okay, I believe in Catholicism now." There isn't
Don't
like
you have to go to like Sunday school and there's like tests and stuff?
what? That's so much work. Who has time for that now?
Um, I don't know.
Is your father devout though? Like, does he go to church every Sunday?
They used to be. I'm not so sure of if they still are.
Life has made them lose faith.
I think it's more that we used to go as a family tradition, but now it's like I'm not going anymore because I don't. I lost my
You're
faith.
dirty atheist. How
Yeah,
dare you?
I mean, I don't know. Like to be honest, I'm between. I would consider myself pretty atheistic.
Did
I
you
think I'm an atheist
did you
because
lose?
I'm like between atheist and agnostic, right?
Mm.
But I think I'm atheist. Yeah.
I keep forgetting agnostic. It means like you don't mind religion, and it would be kind of cool if it was true, but you just don't think it's true because there's nothing to
Um,
really prove it.
I might be wrong in my interpretation, but I think my interpretation of it is like um, you don't believe in the religions that is present on Earth, but you believe that there might be a higher power.
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being agnostic is basically you don't see any proof of God, but you don't see any disproof of God either.
yeah, you're like 50-50,
Did you lose faith after going into the hotel industry?
No, no, before.
Oh man.
What a
I've
turd.
seen what the humans done to each other. There is no way God would have allowed this.
This is
Uh,
harsh. Oh man. So it's the holidays now. I guess should we talk about dating? Because there's something about like the holidays, especially Christmas, makes you think about family, and then from that it makes you
Actually, I think, sorry to interrupt you
Yeah.
there, but you mentioned something interesting. I think statistically, more couples were formed over the um, Christmas and Valentine's Day period.
Wait,
So I
really?
think,
Wasn't that
yeah,
pregnancy? I thought most people have babies around Christmas, so a lot of babies are born. I think in September or something.
Uh, Wait, you said more babies are born on
Yeah,
December?
because a lot of people have they have coitus during the Christmas break, and so a lot of people. This was like a long time ago, but a lot of people used to conceive a child around Christmas. They get wait, do they get pregnant then around? How, okay,
Maybe not.
I sound so out of touch. Okay, but after sex, how long does it take for somebody to get pregnant?
No, I
I
never thought
mean,
about it.
the pregnancy period already begins when after
I
fertilization.
I bet
Like,
the female part of our audience is going to face palm really hard.
Oh my goodness,
oh, I,
we just lost our female audience. Yeah, but I'm curious. I'm genuinely
wait,
curious. Okay, if the
wait, I have a friend who's very well versed in all this, like pregnancy
uh,
and contraception and stuff. We can maybe also start considering inviting them
oh my goodness,
Yeah,
for their
definitely.
episode.
yes, let's have an episode of
Our
female
pregnancy expert.
Wait. But yes, pregnancy is 9 months after conception.
conception.
Conception, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people, they have sex during Christmas break, and then there are a lot of babies being born around September.
Oh yeah, September. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. That's what I think. I was just I just had a thought in my head. I forgot what it's called. You know those 12 signs that you get depending on when you were born. Like Cancer, Leo.
Astrology, yeah.
What was the lady one? Virgo,
Virgo,
We-
yes.
weirdo. Anyways, there's this belief that Virgos are very like anal about stuff. They're like very all about planning and everything has to be perfect. And like they're the people that will say, actually, and
Wait,
there was a
really?
joke going.
Oh, yeah,
There
yeah,
was a
yeah,
joke
yeah.
going around, that like people stop having sex on Christmas and giving birth to Virgos.
Oh man, yes, there should be an open opposition to Virgos. We need to stop making them. But man, wait, Benny is a Virgo, no?
That is correct. That's
Oh,
what I am.
Bernard, I
But, you know,
apologize.
I just want to say I'm not so sure. At the mute because of my background earlier.
No, you're
Um,
just proving it because you actually did. Actually,
That's true.
I know I've been listening, but actually, like I said, I don't know if it's increase in the number of coitus going around on this festive moments. Maybe it makes sense as well. But for those that are not in a relationship, usually the statistics say, apparently, allegedly, I don't know,
Mm.
like, I'm not an expert. No, we are not experts on anything on this podcast.
Yeah, but there is
Like,
something
we have
romantic
no
about
idea what we do.
Christmas.
yeah,
Uh,
but statistically, allegedly, it spikes during winter and um,
well,
Valentine's Day. So I guess for the single guys, these are the best time to like tell the person you like them, right? Because maybe they're feeling a little lonely too, and they might say, "Fuck it, why not?"
is it
Yeah,
because it's the time that you spend with your family, and then you eventually, if you're old enough, you think about having your own family? Maybe that's why.
Maybe,
I'm not
I,
so
I,
maybe
sure.
I bet there's like a whole array of different factors, and that's one of
psychological.
them. I also think it's because like the coming of New Year is approaching, and usually people at that time start to think, okay, what have I done with my life in the past year?
Oh, that's true.
And I would say probably that also affects this.
Man.
Hmm.
Wait, okay, so Bernard is a Virgo, and Dan, you're Cancer. Uh, do you guys know when you were conceived? Was it around Christmas time?
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Ah,
But then you're
Well,
cancer. You just
definitely
literally said that.
not. I'm really toxic. You just wait a few episodes. I'll be the cancer of this show. Actually, I was born like on the border between Cancer and Leo, and Irina thinks that I have some qualities of both.
Leo. Okay, my brother is a Leo, and one of my closest friends is a Leo as well. And Leos are, I don't know. My interpretation are that they're often very like they're a fire. Because in astrology you have the fire signs, you have the water signs or something. I forgot, but I'm an Aries, and Leos are also like a fire sign.
Waterbenders.
Oh, you can imagine.
Hold on. Are we genuinely gonna talk about astrology right now?
Oh wait, no, no,
We
no.
have
Okay,
to.
keep
We
digressing.
have to. How would you say? We somehow need to restore faith of the feminine part of our audience
That
in
is
our
true,
thoughts
right?
again.
We'll
Stay,
start.
stay, don't go. We still. Uh,
We'll have daily astrological readings.
I had a depressive thought that was a bit sexist of me. I apologize.
I mean, it is, isn't it?
Dance just got cancelled. You're gonna get doxxed. But all right, wait. Back to we're supposed to talk about dating, and we have a very eligible bachelor, Benny. So this is mostly going to be about your experience. So wait, okay, I'm gonna be the first ones to ask
I mean,
questions.
shouldn't I mean Dan is also experienced dating his wife. You
That's
are also experienced dating other people.
That's true, but they dated a while back. I was more interested in talking about what's dating like nowadays since post COVID, and a lot of things have happened. You know, the world just seems a lot bleaker, I suppose. And I don't
I
know if that.
never. And an interesting fact, sorry,
Hmm.
to budge in. All my dating happened before applications like Tinder, so I'm somewhat curious how is life with them. I've heard it's those applications are well, some people really don't like them
Oh my goodness,
because and what they
they
do with dating.
so my close friend had just been broken up with last month, and then so he's getting back into the dating scene, and he's downloaded Bumble, Tinder, and all these different apps, and then apparently there is a surge in like a lot of the people that talk to him are all single mothers with children, and they you know, they don't waste time, they don't mince words, they straight up just tell you, oh, is it okay if I have a child? And are you willing to get into this kind of arrangement, dating somebody who already has a child? So that makes me wonder, like, why is that happening? Why are there so many single mothers in Europe?
Um,
Well, to be honest, I see a lot of divorces. Like there are so many
Hmm.
divorces of people that I knew that started to date approximately when I started to date with Arina, and got married.
Mm.
Well, maybe a bit later than me and Arina, and now some of them are divorced.
So if you're both single, how do you feel about dating a woman with a child?
I didn't mind it at all.
Benny, what
Maybe
about
I
you?
feel like I'm getting
Mm.
older and actually start to feel more sympathetic. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
But
sympathetic.
basically, I find it more cute as I age.
I mean, I want to know why they were divorced.
Well,
It's not. It's not. I mean, I think your question is just if they have a child, right?
okay, well, no. I'll give you the scenario. So this is based on my friend's experience. It's because a lot of these women were abused, and they either their husbands have run away and left, left Europe, gone back to their countries, or they've just been abused, so they left their husbands. So they're kind of like victims of a bad marriage, and now
Yeah, but
they
then how ready are they to start something new? Because usually you would have a lot of emotional trauma in association with that.
yes,
Like,
but
are they gonna see everything I do as some kind of trigger for their past drama or trauma? Like,
I think
because you're
Constantly with you.
But I think
You know what I mean?
the prospect of having another partner to share because raising a child is difficult, right? So the prospect of having somebody else to share your burden supersedes the trigger, the possibility of triggers, I guess.
Yeah, but then you're not being with the person because you want to be with the person, but because you have some kind of agenda, and I feel like that's already not the best way to start something.
But what if, because dating attitudes change, right? I have met people that as they get older, they really just want somebody to take care of them. They don't care so much about the classic romanticism, right? They just want somebody.
Yeah, but that's my issue.
Mm,
Like, then the whole approach and intention is already not quite right, if you ask me.
mm. And Dan, what about you?
I I really don't mind that. For
Mm,
me, it is the most important thing would be like that we connect with the person, and like I don't know. It's just not really a factor for me. I think like
mm.
I've never dated anyone. Like I was never in this situation. So maybe if I would get in a situation like that, then I would say something different. But like looking at it
I
from where
guess
I am right now,
yeah, it also depends on your kind of like economic condition, right? Like if you're not really in a financial position to support two people, then mm, and it's a rough choice.
this is actually an interesting topic. Uh, of
You need to be
how
careful with
how
what you.
finances work in your family and in your relationships.
Mm, that is
Because to be honest, I had quite a elevation uh, not so long
revelation.
ago of how many girls think about it.
I mean, it's not just that. They realize as well, subtle laws like how many children can be in a car and stuff like that also have a profound impact on how many children families decide to have.
Mm.
Well, do you guys feel like if you start dating somebody, when is it appropriate to start, paying for them for dinner? Would you pay for dinner if you're just going on dates nowadays? Or do
Yeah,
you?
if I feel nice, I mean, don't like. Um, it wasn't a date, but the my romantic interest came over to Basel once, and I had a great time. I mean, it was lunch, but we didn't really classify it as anything. I I saw it more as a hangout than a date per se. But I felt I enjoyed the company, and I wanted to cover the date. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I wanted to cover the lunch because I asked her to come all the way to Basel. It don't feel nice, you know.
I don't know why, but for some reason, when you said cover the date, I just imagine you like, oh, you know what? For the next date, I have it covered. I'm just gonna date myself. It's just me. You don't have to show up. Oh
No,
man.
why would you do that? But
Okay.
yeah, no, it depends on the situation. Like sometimes if I feel good, I'm having a good time. I like to cover the bill,
Mm,
and it's also like a nice surprise if they're not expecting it as well. But
mm.
sometimes if I covered it the last time, they would say like, "Hey, I want to cover it this time," and I would just respect that their decision to do that as well. You know.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
not like it's an always like, no, I have to be the one because I'm the guy or whatever.
shut up, woman,
It's
and eat your food.
no, yeah, I guess I don't know, but like it just depends, you know. Like
Mm.
sometimes they have it, sometimes I have it.
So can I budge in?
Yeah, yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna
My
ask you.
my biggest discovery was because I was raised, and I can't even say it was done by my family. I guess the general
Like the culture.
I would see in the culture and the media and everything. I was so I grew up with the thought that women want to be equal. Like they don't want to be a housewife. And when I was building our family budget, I approached it to this like this. We calculate how much, like we make a sum of how much we made money. We calculate how much, what is the percentage. Oh, I'm lying. Scrap that. Actually, in the end, what I came to was that we pay all our bills, and then whatever is left, we just split equally among each other. And that's how I thought that is like the best way, because that way kind of doesn't matter who makes more money. We both in the end have the same amount. We kind of work together as a team to like
Is that
fill our family
socialism
budget.
then? Doesn't that sound like socialism?
Maybe. But anyways, that was my approach, because basically I wanted to split it. But I didn't want to split it unfairly, like for example, because a lot of the times Irina would make less money than me, so she would have to pay less. That was my idea.
That it
But
is interesting. Yeah.
recently I found out that apparently, and not only Irina, a lot of her friends here and abroad,
Uh-huh.
they don't like that. And actually, it's something that affects how attractive they are to a man. Like for
Wait,
them,
do you
the
mean
man is a breadwinner.
oh,
If a
okay.
man can cover both, like with all of the family's expenses, then that's great. And the money that a woman earns is only her money.
I'm not so sure I agree with that.
I'm
That's
about
also a very Asian way of seeing it as well.
This
Like
is also a very post-Soviet country way of looking at this. I think that's just, of course I didn't survey every single woman I know, the whole like the territory that I just described, but
yeah, I'm about to
maybe it's
sound
more of people that are of Russian descent also.
okay. Well, I feel like because in Asia, a lot of women, feel the same in terms of men being the breadwinner. Although nowadays, most couples, they both have an income, so they both contribute. But then I was thinking that because one I believe there was a Swedish friend of mine, and she told me that uh, it's still fair that there is still gender equality, even if the men would be the one paying more. If in case she has to carry a child, so that she sees the burden of pregnancy as a form of something that she paid, right? And it's something that she feels like, oh, okay, the men didn't share the same burden of pregnancy. So at least during her pregnancy, she feels justified in not paying anything, because obviously she's not working, right? She's on pregnancy leave.
Well, of course. I mean, on the time when she's pregnant, and like with the time when she doesn't have an income, because of that, that makes perfect sense for me. But it doesn't justify it for the whole of her life.
This is turning into a finance podcast. Okay, Benny, but how do you feel about like finances when you do when you're not married, but you guys have already moved in, you've lived together many years, and you have intention of marrying. How do finances work out for you?
Funny. I'm gonna tangent a little bit, but this conversation reminds me of a conversation I had with my cousin yesterday while he was on the video call with his girlfriend, and I told him love is not enough, and things like this, like where your futures are going, right? Do you want to stay in this country? Do you want to move to another country? Stuff like this, financials. Are you somebody who spends a lot? Is your partner somebody that saves a lot? Like these things are all very important when you're trying to get to know somebody, don't you think? Because like if they don't align, like if your financial goals don't align, if your future goals don't align, usually it, from my experience anyway, it usually means that you're probably not the best for each other. Or because
But between two
Yeah,
people, the one party always has to compromise. So I guess the question is, do you want to be
that
the person
depends, right?
compromising, or do you want your girlfriend?
Exactly. No, I mean, like, I think both parties should, in a way, also compromise on stuff, because it's not like it's a team effort, right? Like, both parties should be trying to make it work. It's not just a one man show or one person show, right?
True, but
Yeah, of course.
let's use an
And
example, right? Like if you have to move to, let's say, Spain because your girlfriend's job is over there, and even though you both conceded to this decision, there's always that little part of you that feels like, it's not completely fair, right?
does
Like,
it though? I mean, like, if she's the main breadwinner, like, if she earns more than me by a long shot, I'm down. Like, can I don't even really need, like, I mean, I got my internet, I got my games at home, I got
yeah.
my podcast, I got my stuff. I'm good. Like, maybe I'm a learn to cook a new meal every week, a
Oh
little bit of
man,
Asian.
there's a term for this. I forgot what's it called. It's a lot of young,
Oh, honey, you
attractive
come
men
back.
are dating older women.
I'm not done. Oh,
Uh,
honey, you come back. You back aching. Here, massaging.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember. It's called hag maxing.
What?
Hag maxing. So it's
Yeah, but no, hold on. That's not the same. Hag maxing is when you go out with the older ladies.
yeah, but she's the
Remember.
breadwinner.
That doesn't necessarily have to be.
Well, hag maxing is it's usually with the intent you dating older women with the intention that they'll look after you
It's reverse gold
financially.
digging.
Is
Yeah,
what?
it's reverse gold digging.
Yeah, yeah. Is that something
Yeah.
you could see yourself doing? Both, I'm asking both of you, gentlemen, fine gentlemen. Do you mind dating somebody 10 years older than you and earn significantly more than you? Like they're they're a CEO of a health insurance company or something.
Why a health insurance company?
It's a way to let our listeners know when this episode is recorded. Anyway, a tangent. So would you be okay with that?
Talked about it last time as well.
I did. Oh my goodness, the whole
Well,
Luigi thing. I'm obsessed. But ananyway,
for
yeah, dating older
for
women.
me, the money part is not a problem, uh, but the age part, something like I imagine could be a problem
Mm.
because
Is it
of
because
looks, to be blunt and honest. Because well, at 30, I'm sure she's going to look fine, but as we age, I feel like men age
tread
better.
carefully? Okay.
I mean, look wise.
Our subscribers, we just lost them.
Dan.
Wait, I'm
But
thinking, is there any truth to that? Because I kind of feel like, in a way, because
maybe I'm wrong.
no, but because there may be a biological reason for that, but because women do go through menopause, but I don't know if there's anything if that contributes anything to the
Oh, I
looks.
think it's more in a cultural reason because
Oh, okay, I get what you mean. Yes, because
because men don't, well, at least in the part where I live, men don't look after themselves as much. Some wrinkles or something like that for a man is fine. Also, traditionally, it's more accepted that a man is older than the woman in a marriage or a relationship.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
because all of this, I feel like and femininity is also kind of tied more with youthfulness. I feel like
Yeah.
softer lines and stuff like that.
This is in huge part thanks to the entertainment industry and especially
Yeah. I'm not
Hollywood, right?
saying it's fair or it's predetermined. It's just it's something how I feel about this because probably of the cultural background and how I was brought up.
But
I'm not
even
saying it should remain like that
yeah,
or like, but
I mean, it's the same
that's how
culture over
I
here as well, But I was thinking that even biologically, men would always look for, it would make sense if men go after women that have a potential to bear a child, right? I feel like maybe there's some kind of biological attraction there, that
Yeah.
youth in a woman, and wide birthing hips, for instance, those things would be intrinsically attractive. Whereas for men, the intrinsically attractive things about them is whether they, biologically speaking, whether they could protect you and provide for you, right? So the sort of the
Yeah.
key selling points for both genders are different. Oh my god, am I in an
Yeah. Also,
anti-feminist?
because in the place where I live, well, at least in the surrounding people, men are more accepted of as a breadwinner, and
Mm.
usually you are able to provide more and earn more as you age
Yeah,
because
you're
you
right.
get
Yeah,
more
exactly.
experience, you come further in your career, etc.
Yeah, it's the same thing in Asia as well, and then that's something in general that we're seeing in the dating sphere. Like, there's something sickening about this as well, because people were making fun of, I don't know if it was Bon Jovi or somebody else, but was it? I forgot. It was a celebrity who was closing in on his. I forgot, but like he's in his 70s and he's having a child.
Oh no, I guess then not.
And so there is that, in terms of dating, because of how competitive it is. For men, there's already a challenge of finding a mate, and for women, because of this challenge, it doubles down on them having to be extra careful when it comes to choosing a partner. And so they'd often go for somebody older and far more successful. And so the more successful men get to mate with a lot of younger women, and less successful men just have trouble finding a mate. And
Yeah.
so we're seeing this, all
Trying to
these.
get Wonder Woman.
But man, I guess this has been the case with humanity, hasn't it? It's
I
always
don't know.
it's always an old noble, marrying a young wife of age 12 or
Yeah, I guess
something.
it's something that will happen if we don't consciously control stuff like this. It's like, I guess, if there will be ever a apocalypse, probably the first system that will come back again is capitalism, because trading stuff for more stuff and like is just
Yeah,
it's like the most natural way, and without control, it can do like horrible stuff.
it's it.
Anyway, going back to the original topic of if I would date an older lady who's richer than me.
Bernard just pulled us back like if we were a train, we derailed to a neighboring country, and Bernard just puts us back on the track.
Full
Yeah.
180.
So I just want to say I've dated women that are older than me, and I've dated women that are financially richer than me. But that's not the sole reason why I dated them. Uh, I've dated women, or I've wanted to date women. No, I guess the more correct term would be I was romantically interested in women who are uh, uh, uh,
Older than
plus
you.
size.
Spit it out.
Yeah. I was trying to find a right way to say it. Like, who was well fed, big bone,
Curvy,
um,
curvaceous, booty lifted.
curvaceous, yes, fat. With
Oh no, you're cancelled. You're cancelled.
like with a PH. I meant like PHATT.
No, but seriously, like, I believe it was the Qing dynasty or something back in the day. Fatter women were heralded as the most
Yes,
attractive type.
of success in life and stuff, right?
Yes, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
anyway, back to the point. There hasn't been any one specific defining factor for why I would be interested in somebody.
Hmm.
Usually, it comes down to their person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if I would date somebody who is older and richer, that maybe if I was younger, but like as Dan said, I'm coming into the point of life now
Mm.
where I would like to start my own family. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like it's impossible with an older lady, like somebody in their 40s, but like the chance of it happening is so drastically low that why would you stack the odds against you? You know, and does she have like a frozen egg or stuff like that?
Yeah, but
But
how do you guys feel about? But what if you're adopting?
I don't want to date somebody just because like, oh, I need to date somebody just because this is what society expects
Yeah.
from me. Just because I need help to pay my kids' bills and stuff. You know, like
Mm,
the approach behind it, the intentions behind it is. I think it's also important. Because
okay,
if you start with the wrong heart, like the wrong mindset, then it's not gonna get better. You know,
Yeah.
that's true.
you can make whatever excuses you want, but I don't.
Okay. I have a next question for you guys. Um, if you were dating now, in your age, in the current world that we live in, uh, how long after dating, like on which date do you find it appropriate to then hint at sex, like having sex?
Yeah, but this is something that's different from individual to individual, though. Like some
Mm,
people are a bit more guarded against it. Some people are a bit more open towards it.
mm-hmm.
There's no like a clear defining line. I mean, you have to just see what your interests are. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, sex is great and all that, but like, and I think it's really important as well.
Mm,
But it's not like, but it feels to me like a lot of guys have this idea in their heads, like, oh, that's the final goal, right? Like, I
yeah,
get there and then it's done.
yeah.
But
Pump and dump.
yeah, but that's you know what I mean, right? Like, they seems to be this mindset where like, oh, that's where I have to be, and once I'm there, then it's okay. Then I've done my job, right?
Mm. Dan, what about you?
I feel like when maybe I was in my teenage years, was definitely a goal, and I didn't think much past it. But sorry, what was the original question?
Uh,
Yeah, I also kind of lost it.
how long
I feel
after
like I
dates? Like,
build up to something.
okay, how
Oh
about
yeah,
this?
fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like Bernard said. Basically, it's very individual, and at the same
Mm,
time, like me personally, I wouldn't mind it happening like on the first one.
mm,
But I wouldn't push it or anything. It's just like I would leave that option available and like maybe somehow try to move there. But if I feel like it's not moving there, then oh, that's fine.
And also,
Like
I before like I lock it in for the rest of my life, like you kind of do want to know if you're physically compatible as well, because you know some people are less
hmm.
uh has less libido, and some people have a higher libido, and these kind of conflicts can lead to the relationship not working out as well. Like
true.
somebody satisfied with like once a year, and
Once a
somebody needs
year?
it.
What is she?
I'm just saying, as an extreme fringe case, somebody said it once a year, and other one satisfied like they need it like twice a week, for example. You know, like then you have a big discrepancy, and then the
Yeah.
problem there is like the person who needs it more often might feel like their needs are not being met, and then it might lead to infidelity or
So in terms of
Like one
libido,
person will be pissed.
yeah.
basically. So yeah, I mean, like you would want to know if you're like physically compatible, more or less,
Of course, of course.
before you lock it in as well. But it
I-
doesn't. I mean, if it happens on the first date, whatever. If it happens on the 6 months after, whatever. Like it just has to be right for the both of you.
In terms of libido, how would you guys rank yourselves? Like, do you feel like you are, more than average in terms of needs for sex, or would you say you're average, or perhaps even below average?
I'm I'm gonna exercise my right in not saying anything here.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I
Down.
would say
What about
probably
you?
average or a bit lower than average.
Really? What do you consider average there?
Oh,
Like maybe as a nice benchmark. What for
well,
you?
let me do it then. Let me do it. Okay, an average I would say is 3 times a week.
Yeah, then I'm probably below average. Not probably, I'm below average then.
I feel like I'm way below average. I feel like I would never say no, but in terms of me initiating, I would feel like once a week is enough. You know, I have shit to do.
I mean,
I
it
can't.
doesn't take that long. What are you talking about? It's like a nice
You know,
hour. Routine.
it's so different from week to week. You know,
That is
there could be
true.
a
That
week
is
without
true.
it, and there could be a week when there's like 3 times easily.
Okay.
It's so non unstable because I guess I don't plan it. It's just kind of
It just naturally happens, right?
it just happens.
Well, okay, wait. Okay, in terms of now we're on the topic of sex.
When I'll just say it like this: when I was younger,
Yeah,
I have well-defined triceps.
fine.
But
Triceps or delts? Wait, okay, wait. I,
Uh,
I actually don't know which arm do we engage in.
I guess you have to have both the biceps and triceps for that.
it actually, I feel like it involves the triceps a lot more.
I
Oh
guess so,
man,
yeah.
do you have?
But also about libido, I guess it's worth adding that we are together for like 12 years already or 10 years. What
Mm.
was it? I don't remember.
Oh, I was more asking now, like as if in your current age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I answered.
Yeah, but you're right. I suppose if it's a fresh relationship, you know, you may be more prone to sex, and then yeah, as time goes on. Anyway, okay, I have another question. Right, you can exercise your right to silence, but I'm curious if you have any sexual kinks, and when do you think it's appropriate to mention this to a person you just started dating?
I mean, definitely not before you've already engaged in coitus, maybe. I mean, like, are you talking about like some kind of crazy, insane, like
It depends on.
beyond fringe kind of kinks? Or...
No, well, it depends
When
on
you
your
come into
kink.
your bedroom, you press the button and it turns into a sex dungeon.
No, okay, right. Let's say, okay. Well, I think both of you, I think all of us are quite vanilla in that sense. But let's say if you have a
Yeah.
thing for, you know, like dress up, like if you feel like, oh, you would be interested in like role playing, cosplay, and that kind of stuff. If you have these special kinks, you know, other than vanilla sex, how long do you think is appropriate before you bring it up? Obviously, before you guys have sex, or maybe after. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but yeah, when would you say it?
You're like, what was that? And then you explain.
Yeah, hit them with a surprise first. It's like that's a trial run. Would you
I
like to
got you.
subscribe?
Got you. Cat ears.
Oh man.
Or while you're doing it, you're like slowly, carefully pulling out those cat ears and gently putting them on her head.
Oh man. Okay, wait. Right. I think we are fully going into this, you know, the female oriented podcast because we're talking about some very saucy stuff. Uh do you guys, okay, in terms of sex, do you guys feel like it is more important that your partner finishes first, or would you prioritize yourself finishing first?
I prioritize the partner. For me, it's a
Hmm.
ego thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can call it a kink, but like it turns me on to see my partner turned on.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm able to always satisfy them, but I definitely give it my best, you know.
We need to have an
Yeah.
episode about female orgasm because it is mystical to me as a gay man. Like I just don't understand it. But anyway, the
I saw a cool meme about it that also kind of describes how I somewhat feel about it. There
mm.
was a comparison, like a female orgasm, I think it was like a firework, and then a male orgasm was like this toy boopet or something like that.
You know, this brings me to my next question. It's actually very interesting because I've asked a lot of my straight friends, and I am convinced that most guys don't actually want to feel like a proper prostate orgasm. Like that, it's often either too strong for them that they don't like it, or it's the process that turns them off because something needs to go up the the rectal cavity. Is that something you guys share? Like, do you feel like it's something that you don't want to go there because you kind of just feel like, oh, you know, as long as you ejaculate, that's enough. Like, you're not interested in taking it one step further.
I don't. Something sounds off for me about that. I feel like it's
Like,
maybe
orgasm is gay.
not very well. If you put it bluntly, I guess you can describe it like that.
Is it gay if
I would
it's
say it's more it's a more nuance. I would say, and it's not so. What's the word? Some sort like it sounds very sexist or what is it? Homophobic. Basically, it's not like that, but I guess it's another ego thing, and it's how I feel like I position myself as a straight male, and I guess that doesn't really go well with that for me. But I guess there's probably plenty of straight males.
Okay, so
I position myself as a straight male too. Sorry, Dan, you
yeah, no,
finished?
I finished. Please.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel Jamie is gonna jump the topic again, so I want to get my voice in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a
I'll wait for
straight
both of you to finish.
yeah,
He puts
I,
our
I have to
first.
say this first. Yeah, like I position myself as a straight male too. But I would. I mean, I personally have no interest in exploring the back door, so to say.
It,
But
I'm actually curious because I don't think it always has to, like, it could be achieved in ways that doesn't necessarily include something being going up, but it's still going to be close, like some kind of massages.
yeah, like I'm not particularly keen in exploring that, but I mean, if my partner is into it, then concessions can be made.
Okay, so do you guys feel like, so have you felt
Yeah.
it though? Have you guys felt it
Approach.
before?
Airport.
Have you experienced it?
No.
Like,
No, I've never had anything going the other way in.
does it feel like, okay, so let's say if your girlfriends or wives want to experiment sort of a gender play and they want to peg you, so so they'll be
Oh
wearing
God.
they'll be wearing something,
I'm sorry.
huh?
What does peg
Oh,
mean?
peg
But they got a
PEG.
strap on and then they screw you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
I
that
figured.
does that feel like
Hear
it
this term.
yeah, does that feel like it diminishes your masculinity? Do you guys would you be receptive to that, or do you feel like it would be insulting you in some way?
You know, I just want to say, just to fuck with the guys who were under me, I sometimes when we're driving alone, I would ask them this exact same question, right? But
Uh-huh.
how I'll phrase it is different. How I'll phrase it is like, all right, like, now imagine you met the wife of your dreams, right? You're married for a long time, you know, you're happy, she's happy. You've shown each other in acts and actions that you really care and love each other,
Mhm.
and it's like 4 years down the road, and one day she turns around in bed and she tells you like, "Hey, blank, um, you know, I've been keeping this in for a long time because I wasn't really sure how I can bring this up. But one of my fantasies in life is to peg you in the ass."
Mm.
And I usually ask them there, like I stare usually straight into their eyes and I say, "Would you let the wife of your dreams fuck you in the ass?"
I
My
can already
girl.
imagine, like, with your eyes, who can say no?
And then usually they have pretty funny, interesting reactions. But because I've been asking these questions myself, I had time to think about this question already.
Wow, you come prepared.
Yeah. So here's my answer, and it's never been changed. I would say, if it's really their fantasy, I don't want to deny them this fantasy, but concessions will have to be made. Like they can't just whip out like a monster horse-sized dong and just rail me.
And kill you.
Like they can't do that. Or at least I don't want them to do that. I'm not gonna say no, but we're gonna have to train up.
Did you say train or trade?
like train up to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no
And,
forcing,
and
obviously,
also,
right? You're not gonna.
and also, this means that I might have discovered a kink in the future or some kind of fantasy, which I want them to also work with me in trying to fulfill
Yeah, of course.
or explore.
Nice.
Not fulfill,
They're
but
in depth to you.
What about you, Dan?
I would say I wouldn't want that. I would, of course, try to be understanding about it.
Okay,
And
but what if it's a trade?
I
Like
would
they,
give it
they let you do something you want, and then but this is what they
at,
want.
like at this exact moment. I don't feel like there will be anything that I would trade it for. But since it's like if I frame myself in Bernard's story, where it's my wife,
yeah.
then of course I would think about it and like consider it and stuff like that. But like at this exact point, I feel like I would say no.
Is there a fear that you feel like, what if I
You might like it
wrote?
too
Yeah,
much.
what if you like? I like it. Is that part of the fear?
No, it's a good question. I'm not sure. I need to think about it. Why I don't want it.
Maybe
Is
it's
it?
because it's
I
usually
thought I'm a very open and European person, but
no,
apparently not so much.
no.
No, I think Dan is still mostly against the idea because of the thought of it being gay. But I see it more
Yeah,
like I'm exploring the limits of my sexuality, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, if people do it, it must feel good, but I don't want to jump in the deep end of the pool. Like I said, like it's a new unexplored territory. I'm gonna be nervous. Like walk me through it. Like hold my hand and walk me through the dark room. You know?
And say sweet nothings to my ear.
Push me into the deep end of the pool where I'm still panicking if there are sharks in the pool. You know.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But this is one area that I can already warn you guys that yeah, you might you might like it too much. So use it as a tool, as a last resort. You know, maybe if something's going wrong, like if the sex life has fizzled out, like it's not interesting anymore, then you can explore. Like it's a trap card that you use at the last second. So
Yeah, but like I feel like this is something they should bring up and not like, hey, you want to try something?
can you imagine? No, okay. Right. So
I mean, but regarding what you just said, right?
yeah.
Like I enjoy a good. Sorry for being crass. I can't find any proper.
Word.
Actually, I don't have to be crass. I enjoy a good oral play as well, but that doesn't
Mm.
mean like I'm gonna expect it from my partner. You know,
Mm.
like they like what they like and they don't like what they don't like. So just because I like something doesn't mean I demand it or like I feel like I'm entitled to it.
Fair enough. Okay, so Benny is open to exploration, and Dan is just, oh, I'm a man. Okay, right. Okay, let's move on. I feel like we're getting too far too sexual. Okay, so what do
I
you
thought this is
guys?
supposed to be about dating.
Yes, yes. But this it's part of
Sexual
dating. I like
it
sex
is
is part.
about.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
Okay, I have been curious to ask you guys. What when it comes to dating, right? Like, do you Oh,
Um,
Benny, did you say something? I think you got kidnapped.
Oh no, it's the wooden bed I'm on. Like I'm rocking on the wooden bed and it's creaking, so maybe you're picking up the creaking of the wooden bed.
Benny
yeah,
is.
somebody got excited from all this talk.
Oh man.
No, like I'm rocking from side to side.
All right.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Wait, what question was I going to ask? You broke my train of thought.
You were gonna ask
The thought of
something.
Bernard rocking the bed.
Yeah, I got too excited because Benny told me earlier that
I
his.
feel like you're gonna ask something sexual, maybe.
No, no. Okay, wait.
It was something to do with romantic relationships.
Yes, clandestine thoughts. I'm gonna bring it back. Um, All right. Okay. When it comes to dating, what would you guys say? Like, if you were to date now, right? What would your
Mhm.
approach be? We can do a little role play. I can be the girl. Like, what would you? So let's say, Benny. Let's start with you. Let's say we're on the first date.
What?
Hello.
Oh, like we're on a first date?
Yeah, and I'll give you the scenario. I'm the girl. I'm
All
not
right.
very. I seem interested in you, but I'm not very talkative. I'm not very proactive. But whenever you do say something, I get animated. And now we have somehow reached a point in the conversation where we both went silent. Now, how would you
Okay.
break the ice?
So it seems to me from what you just explained, in my head, I already analyzed that. Okay, this person is a questioner. She's
Okay.
somebody who likes to be asked questions and doesn't like to openly share. So if I want to get her to engage, then I need to ask about her, right?
Right. Right.
So this from your description, I already identified this because you need to identify. You need to be interested in the
Jesus Christ,
person you're
that's
with,
some
and
good analysis there.
yeah,
Welcome
well,
to
that's the thing,
Bernard's
right?
TED
You
Talk.
have to be interested in them enough to identify these non-verbal cues of their characteristics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm thankfully armed with a bit more knowledge regarding communication than maybe the average Joe. So
Wow.
that's. I mean, it's also
I
relation
Yeah,
to.
true.
I think of the meme like at the
Military grade equipment being
exactly
used at civilians.
multiple analysis running at the same time.
Hey, give me a moment. I'm requested, so Dan, take over for a second.
Okay, Dan.
Sure.
No. Well, I'll give you a different role play because I feel like there's gonna be a different challenge for you. Okay,
All right.
I okay. So we've been chatting on an app for a while now. It seems like we hit it off. You know, conversations are going well. We go to dinner. And we had a very lovely meeting up. Like, oh hey, how was your commute? Blah blah blah. Okay, now we're seated in the restaurant, and you notice that I seem like a person who has already been on many dates. But I then ask you, okay, so what do you do? Like I'm asking you the casual questions, and you see that there is a moment that she's asking you a mundane question, but you have an opportunity to stand out because you can read the cues. You're like, okay, she's probably asked this same question to a lot of people. How do I stand out? Okay, go. What would you do?
Ooh. Yeah, I was to be honest, when you asked started to talk about this and the thought of me like performing in this little role play got me nervous. I feel like because I didn't date anyone for like an eternity now. I feel like I have
Me
no
too,
idea
man.
how to do it. If she asked me a question, I feel like maybe I'm very naive, but I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't try to script all this stuff. I wouldn't try to think it through so much. I would just
But it's like a moment
do
of
my best
marketing,
to
right?
be. I would do my best. I wouldn't. I don't like bragging.
Right.
Well, and I can't say that I don't like it completely, but it's something that I would feel like would make me look bad. So I
Yeah,
would,
like
if I
disingenuous.
would feel like something is bragging, I would hold off.
Ah,
If I bragged by accident, then of course I would feel nice. Like when you said something that
mm,
you thought is normal, but the other person is like, "Wow, that's so cool." Then of course
okay.
I would feel
All
like
right,
very
fine,
nice.
fine, fine. I'll give you another scenario then. Okay, we've just had
Okay,
a date. Everything went very well. We had a great time. We went to the arcade. I'm already imagining my next date. Okay.
we
We
are in the 80s.
yes. Okay. We had our roller skates on with our boombox, and then we had a great date. Okay. And now you have walked me to my apartment, and you want to ask for a next date. Like you're interested in asking. Oh, okay. You interested in meeting up next time? Like that moment has come. How would you do it?
Well, I will again. Maybe it's too naive. I would just say it out, like I think, that was really great. We should do it again. Do I already have her number? I guess I already have her number and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You already do.
I would even maybe like if I would have a thing that I want to do with her and a date that I know I'm free,
Mm-hmm.
or even if I know something about her schedule already and I know when she's free. But I feel like that's not very nice. I would rather not know her schedule, because I would propose like, hey, do you want to do something like this again? Let's say we go to this place on that day,
Mm-hmm.
and if she says no, then I would say, okay, sure, we'll come up with something other, and
Ooh.
I wouldn't push it anymore. I would then try to come up with something else. I don't know, tomorrow, for example, and then just message that. And
Ooh.
if I would keep getting rejections, then I would feel like probably it's a
It's a
polite
sign.
way to kind of to say that she doesn't want to continue.
Very
I
pragmatic.
think yeah, maybe I'm a little bit too much.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Hang on. I feel like because I feel like there is this narrative there that a lot of young men nowadays do struggle with these casual interaction with with the opposite gender, and so much
Mhm.
so that there was a mass shooting last week in Wisconsin in America, and supposedly the person who did it is this 15-year-old girl who have been described to be a femcel. Um, Kind of like an incel but reverse, I guess. So she in her manifesto she blames the patriarchy, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So she shot up a school, and so
Mm.
like I guess the I'm wondering like if I'm trying to think of this situation as well. If we're both parents and we have a son, like how would you go about educating them interaction with the opposite sex, or do you feel like you wouldn't intervene in this sense? Because my dad surely didn't teach me anything about this, even when he thought he yeah, even when he thought I was still straight. Like did your father do something like this with you?
No, nobody from my family taught me really anything about dating or how I should interact with the opposite sex. Well, maybe a little bit,
Hmm.
something like just social norms, I guess. So social norms I got conveyed. Mm.
But don't you want to break the cycle, like be a different
Yeah, that's
parent?
what I feel like. I feel like maybe I would try to. I feel like this is a thing that you cannot kind of decide like, okay, son, come here, I'm going to teach you something. I
Yeah.
don't feel like it will work like that. But I would be happy if he or she would ask me herself.
But I
Uh,
guess that is the problem, right? Like, did you want to ask your dad about this when you were a teenager? I feel like, as a
yeah,
teen,
that's a good point.
right? How would you
Yeah,
bring it up to
I,
your kid? Hey, these are dating tips. Uh, how
I
would
wouldn't, I
I?
would say dating tips, but I guess about teenagers.
Mm,
Me and Irina had the conversation, and I have this theory. Uh, when a child is still a child and not yet a teenager, and this whole transition period doesn't start where he gets all edgy and stuff like that, right?
mm-hmm,
When he's still more a child, this is the time where you can mold him and like steer him in some direction.
mm-hmm.
And if you're not lucky or good enough to steer him in the right or her in the right direction in that age, in the teenage years, it's like at one point you're like aiming an arrow through a bow, and then when the teenage years hit, it's like the arrow is released, and it's really hard to steer
Yeah.
it anymore.
So for some
And
reason,
so,
uh,
so this makes me think that in order for this child to come to you in his teenage years and ask you something about the relationships, you have to been build a relationship before that, a trustful relationship where he feels like it's safe and that you can give valuable advice.
Well, I guess that is difficult because, if you
Yeah.
are assuming the role of a parent, then, the more important things for you would definitely be their safety, their future, like so you're in a position of power. You represent this one authority in their lives. And that just naturally makes it difficult for them to want to confide in you. They would
True.
come to you if they're in trouble, like, oh dad, I did this and that wrong. But
Yeah.
relationships would be difficult, even to talk to your mother about this. I can see teenagers having reservations. Oh, I
I
don't
feel like
know.
maybe what I would also do if I feel like we're not talking about this enough, in my opinion,
Mm,
maybe I would just say, sorry, son, I'm going to give you some uninvited information about dating, or maybe like I would say something that I feel like you should know as a teenager, like, right?
mm,
Like, I guess this is the most primitive way to approach something like contraception or something like that.
okay.
Maybe it would also help
Mm,
to be give a maybe the best way is to be an example yourself, right?
true.
Build your relationship the same way you want your child to have a relationship, because, and probably that's the most effective way, because children often, I feel that's what I feel like, I think I've heard this somewhere. Children often base their own relationships on how they saw their family relationship work.
yeah, I've heard that theory. Maybe that's why I'm such a messed up person. Fuck me. I feel like my strategy would be like, if I do become a dad, I'll be a very hip dad. Like my other partner would be the responsible one, and I would be the kind of like the chaotic, kind of like messed up one. And I would,
But wait,
you,
let me ask you a question.
yeah.
What if that other person is even more hip and chaotic?
Oh fuck me. No, I'll have to
Would you
assume.
then have to feel like you have to then take their earliest responsibility?
I think I would, yeah. I can, I can serious up. Like, I can be a serious parent if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be fun. I don't know. Anyway,
No, yeah.
I feel like I would just do my best to give them the opportunity to meet up, with members of the opposite gender, or maybe the same gender, it doesn't matter. Just encourage them to just go out and socialize, because I feel like that's what's
Yeah.
missing nowadays. We're so eternally online, and so many kids, they're just, even when they're hanging out, they're online. And as much as I like to play video games with my friends, it's still a different thing from, like we did, going out to the lakeside, drinking, just talking shit, finding ways to entertain ourselves. I don't know. Like, do you feel like we had it good? Do you feel like we had plenty of opportunities, especially in hotel school? We I don't think I've seen anyone having trouble speaking to women.
Mm. Well, in general, about my childhood and my teenage years, I'm really happy with them. And I feel like my parents actually did what you said. They were
Mhm.
they're very young parents, and they are very understanding. Like I feel like they gave me enough opportunity to uh, like, when I think about it now as an adult, they would, on one hand, they would say they would very effectively convinced me to think that they're really opposed of me, like, drinking and
Yeah.
partying, right? Like, I
Mhm.
would
Oh,
try
okay,
to
yeah, but
hide that
maybe
from
they're
them.
in.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's obvious that they could not understand if they're
Yeah.
going to give their teenage son a whole apartment for, like, a whole evening and night,
They did.
that for like New Year's, that we're
Uh-huh.
not going to get their, like, shit wasted.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's reverse psychology. Like, they appear to be against it. They appear to be strict just to
Yeah.
encourage you to rebel. Like that. I feel like that's the
Uh,
that's the 200 IQ play.
well,
You know.
well, I feel like they most likely they felt like, as a parent, that's how they should be, but at the same time they understood, because not so long ago themselves they've been
Mhm.
teenagers. They understood that basically it's better if they'll get drunk at,
Yeah,
like, their own apartment where it's safe, than if they do it somewhere, like,
that is
outside. Or,
that is 200 IQ play. Yeah, that is far more responsible, I feel. Wait,
I agree. I agree.
how old were they when they had you?
My mother was 18. My father was 24.
What? Oh my! I cannot. Can you imagine having kids when you're 24 years old? You were still
Uh,
in. Yeah.
that more or less, yes, but
Mm.
18 is even. like more daunting.
So you are a healthy sperm. There's this narrative that that people are worried that now that people are getting married much later, and that the quality of new children would be somehow worse. I guess. Uh, you're quite healthy, right? Like I feel like you don't really have any you know what's the word? Genetic hereditary diseases. You don't have any.
I guess so. No, more or less. No, maybe I have a little bit of hypertension, but is that the right word? Like high blood pressure? It's a
Yeah.
bit higher than it should be.
Well, what is hypertension? I keep
Apparently,
hearing.
my grandfather had it as well.
Is it what is hypertension then?
Uh, I'm not sure if I used the right term, but what I was trying to talk about was high blood pressure.
Oh,
What it is just additional load on your blood vessels and your heart,
nah.
which is unnecessary. And so I feel like it stayed on the same level since I first discovered it.
Uh-huh.
But when you're 18, the norm is one thing, and then as you age up, it slowly crawls up as well.
Oh wow.
But for me, that my blood pressure stayed the same all
Mhm.
this time. So the norm just kind of cut off to me at some point.
Oh
When
my.
before they would say you must take medicine to lower it.
Uh-huh.
Now they're saying like when I come to a doctor and tell them I have high blood pressure,
Hello?
they check my blood. Yeah, you can hear me.
Oh yeah, your audio cut off.
So now when I go to the doctor and I tell them that I have high blood pressure, and they check and then they tell me like, what are you talking about? Your blood pressure is all right.
You perfectly. Oh, okay. Wow. Wait. Let me think. Do I have any? Because I was conceived through in vitro, and so I am technically a very unhealthy child. Like
What is that?
in vitro, so I was not conceived naturally. When I was
Hmm.
it was the what was it? The eggs and the sperm combined outside, and then in a test tube,
Hmm.
and then inserted into the womb for it to develop.
Mm.
So in a way, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it really did make me unhealthy. I think because I was as a kid, I was always getting allergies. I would always have these random headaches, and it only got better as I got older, and then now like like I have to exercise at least 4 times a week in order to be on just a normal level. Like if I don't do
Oh,
that, I will fail to function as a human being. Like I will have so many different issues.
wow.
Like the headache is the worst because I have the kind of so a lot of okay this is turning into a
Migraine.
female oriented podcast because they have headaches as well. Like the migraines, right? The term is migraines. So I have one of those migraines that a lot of women have as well. It's one of those things that you have no cure because there hasn't been a lot of studying into it. And so whenever I do get these migraines, I can take all the painkillers in the world. It does not make it better. Like
Wow.
it still feels terrible. It feels like hypertension in the head. And I don't know, like I
Like
said that
like
which
there's pressure.
yeah, and that's why I feel like, when I was a kid, before I knew I was gay, I was always thinking, oh, okay, if I'm gonna have a kid, I want to do it early while I'm still young. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like because I did some study, so apparently the quality of our sperm don't really degrade that fast, it as opposed to eggs, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
Would you
So
would
I
you
would
would you want to
agree.
freeze your eggs?
Uh,
Sorry, your sperm. You don't have eggs. Your sperm.
oh, right. I guess not really. But when you ask eggs, I imagined like if I would be a female and if I would want to freeze
Yeah.
my eggs. I guess yes, especially if it would be
Yeah, would you suggest your
easy.
wife to do it then?
Ooh, that sounds like something
Because
a
now is a
bit
good time for you
mean to
guys, no?
suggest or something. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And but it,
Uh,
it, it costs money. That's the thing. I actually because
yeah.
I think it's a recurring payment as well. So like as long as they have it in stock, you need to keep
Oh,
paying. It's like paying rent for your eggs and sperm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That is a tough question because it feels like, maybe you want to have the choice to do it, because it's,
Yeah.
for me, I don't see myself having enough resources to raise a child, uh, in the next 5 years. I don't feel like that's happening, right? And so, if I were straight, then that would be something I consider.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I guess I would also consider it. But this sounds so kind of makes me sad, and I'm not really sure.
You feel like life is fleeting. Oh no, we need to talk about something
Yeah.
else. Fucking hell. Yeah, yeah, honestly, I felt the same way. I felt the same way. Whenever I think about this, I just feel, I can't help but feel like, I don't have the sort of same environment and opportunities as the previous generations may have had. But then that wouldn't be fair to say as well. I don't know. I don't know. Like, because I feel like,
You know,
yeah.
I feel like in a sense, I'm sometimes doubting myself when I tell myself similar things. Is it really that bad, or maybe it's just my perception of it is more
What specifically is bad?
changed it?
That,
Like our opportunity, like our
mm,
we often, even in our podcast, we often talk about how
yeah.
for this generation it's a lot worse and stuff like that.
I think
And
I think
sometimes I wonder, is it like that, or is just my perspective?
I think a part of it, there is definitely like a percentage of it is just us whining. But there are some
Yeah.
very real challenges that are, at least in the, like if we go as far back as the 1800s, let's say, if you're from the West, if you're in Europe or America, yes, you have many other challenges, warfare, the civil movements, blah, blah, blah. But for a very long time, we weren't this plentiful, right? The population was not this high. And so it is, in terms of humanity, it is a historic first that we're dealing with 7 freaking billion people on the planet. And as a result of our social economic, environment, that we are struggling to get housing. We're struggling to be independent and start a life, because the bar has just been raised so high because of
Yeah.
competition. And so, in a way, we have a right to whine because it is a new challenge. But yeah, we didn't have to go to war. So
Yeah, that's true.
wait, okay, wait. I take it back. You guys don't have to go to war. I may have to one day. That fucking sucks, man. You.
Yeah, I hope not. And to be honest, there's also a possibility that we would have to,
Oh
but
fuck, yeah. That's true.
not as well.
In a way that's this podcast, like, we have digressed from dating to economics, warfare, and child rearing. I talk about this because there are these influencers that go around saying that, oh, even if you're poor, even if you can't afford children, you should always have it. And then, this this
Hmm.
this comes at a controversy where I think it was Elon Musk's mother. She went on an interview, and then so she basically said, even if you cannot afford kids, you should still have it. It's kind of like a humanities, responsibility. And people got really mad because it was very tone deaf. They were like, "Oh, you just want us to have babies, so your son can have factory workers." Um, I don't know, which I
Well, yeah,
don't, which I
it would might sound like that.
Yeah, do you agree though? Do you feel like if you are a rich person now, like you can have children, would you go out and tell people that you should have kids anyway?
Well, like that, no. But though I agree in a sense, yeah. I think I agree in a sense. You shouldn't let that hold away you from having a child. And
Mhm.
I there's this. It's a bit silly, but there is a saying that here, I think it's a Russian saying actually, that if you have, like, don't worry if you have a child, like the money to sustain yourself and that child will find itself to you.
Mm.
And I guess in a way it's true, because not because God is steering money towards you or something, but people find ways to adapt like in
That's
many
true.
different conditions.
But that's
So
it.
maybe if you really want to have a child,
Mhm.
that shouldn't stop you, or at least you can kind of decrease the severity of this issue for having children. But I guess it also depends on where you live, because
Yeah.
here there's more support when for you having a child than, for example, in US.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as that thought came to my mind, I remembered that I think US has a higher birth rate
Yeah.
than us.
Thanks to immigration, basically. It's the
Not only, and even if you do, if you take it out, even
yeah.
if you take it out, it's still a bit higher. And that makes me think we're here, like Europeans like to talk about how we're so socially, like so how we are so social and we support and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But apparently it doesn't help with having more babies.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you like here, you get, I think now recently they changed it. So now you, as a mother, if you have a child, you can choose when your 1.5 years of paid maternship
One and a half
starts. And
years.
yeah, and you get
What?
70% of your salary.
What?
And
Okay.
still our birth rate is really low.
What?
You compare it to US, where sometimes it's
Yeah.
like, here you go, 2 weeks off for you to like give birth to your
Yeah.
child and recover a little bit, then go back to work, and still people have more children.
Okay, now, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, in America, the work culture is a different beast. We should talk about work culture next time. This sounds interesting. But anyway, like I never knew how like these pronatalist programs would work, because if you say that, hey, your employer needs to pay you while you are pregnant for 1.5 years and you're not contributing to the company, if I have a business there in Latvia, I'm just not going to hire women that are,
Oh no, it's the government who pays this money.
oh, oh, that's
But
good.
there is a slight, like there's a thing for the company. You have to keep that place available for the person that left for this maternship
But that's
leave.
bullshit. Like,
So if they when they're this big I can't call it a vacation, but like when their maternship leave ends,
uh-huh.
if they decide to come back to your company,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to give them back their like job.
That is, yeah, okay.
And it's kind of hard, especially I guess if it's a small company,
Yeah.
because then you can hire someone for that time while that person is missing, but then it's all kind of fucked up for the person that is replacing that
Yeah, like
person,
morally
because you're
speaking,
like,
I agree, but there's so many ways to get around that system, right? Like maybe you'll just hire them back and then give them kind of like a fake title where you tell them to do nothing, and then eventually they'll leave the job because they just feel like, oh, I'm not really valued.
yeah, I guess there are always ways to
This is messed
kind of
up. Like, do
go
you guys have
around
a
it.
population crisis as well, like as ours, where we are aging so fast?
Yeah. The birth rate is not high enough, and people are getting older and older. I mean, like the proportion of older
Yeah.
people is becoming bigger.
Oh, can you imagine though? It's kind of scary because it doesn't affect the rich people now, like the older generation now, because they still have people around. But when we get old, there won't be enough people around to take care of us. Like, can you imagine like going to the supermarket? There are no human beings there, and is they just
Well, I
oh,
bet by the time when we get that old, it's probably going to be already robots.
oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, freaking hell. There's so many protests happening nowadays that in America that these franchises like Dunkin' Donuts or something, they are replacing employees with kiosks that you can order.
Yeah.
And I'm just shocked because I'm like, that's already a thing here in Taiwan. Is that the same thing for you guys? Like if you go to McDonald's, can you order at a machine as opposed to a human being?
Oh yeah, I would say it's even more promoted because the machines are like the first thing you run into, and then
Oh,
there's only
yeah.
one cashier, and that
Hmm.
cashier is not even always there. They
True.
basically work, and if somebody comes to the cashier, because they want to make an order there, then somebody comes in. So I feel like it's this low key promoting using the
Yeah,
kiosk.
like soft pressure, you know. Ah, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But before that, there was this whole stand of several cashiers. The same in
Yeah.
supermarkets. There's plenty of systems. There's a system where you take this barcode reader and you go around the store, you scan everything, and you can put it straight away in your bag.
Oh,
And
I
then at the
prefer
end,
that.
you just check out. That's very convenient because before that, we just
Mhm.
had the self checkout where you
Yeah.
go around the store, you collect everything, and then you have to like be the cashier for yourself, right? You
Yeah.
have to scan it all. That's less convenient than when you carry around the scanner with you.
I like what we have here. We still have the good old human beings, you know, checking your stuff out for you. For some reason, I
Well,
just prefer.
we also still have them, but me personally, I like the barcode scanner more because it's more convenient. It's faster because you're doing that thing while you're walking around the store.
That is
So you
true.
basically just come to the place where you have to pay, and it happens like in less than a minute.
I guess that wouldn't work in many places in the US because people just steal it. They'll just,
Oh, I bet it's a problem for us as well
yeah.
because my friend, he before he was working in IT, he was working in security,
Uh huh.
and he told me like people here steal so much shit. Like many people just like to steal stuff
Yeah.
all the time. So I bet it's a problem for us as well. And there's also random checks. Like when you come to pay, there could
Uh-huh.
be you could be selected to be checked, and then a
Mhm.
cashier comes to you and checks that you scanned everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens if you didn't scan anything. I guess if you scanned like a bun, but then you come with a giant shopping bag and it's like filled with expensive shit, maybe they will ban
Oh,
you
true, true.
with
Yeah.
the checkout or something. But if you like forgot to scan a slice of bread, then probably they'll just say no, they will assume it's an accident
It's
and
such
won't
an
do anything.
it's kind of a nightmare to enforce it as well because I distinctly remember going to the UK and there are these supermarkets with like M&S. It's like it's a higher end supermarket, and whenever I go in, because in Europe you wear a backpack. It makes sense because you walk around a lot. You need things in your backpack, and I would always get asked, to take off my bag and then leave my bag in the entrance, and I have my passport in there, and then so it's just every time I feel like it feels like prejudice. It feels like racism that I've been profiled. But and then my friend convinced me. It was like, oh no, they do this to everyone. And then because my friend is black, and then we went to multiple supermarkets, and then we did like a little experiment, and he always gets asked to stop to surrender his bag. And then whereas when I have my glasses on and I would just walk in there with my big ass backpack, nobody asked me to, like, I've only been asked once, and then after that nobody's ever asked me. And then I got really offended. I was just like, just because I'm Asian doesn't mean I won't steal. Man,
And stole as revenge.
it was so annoying. All right. I think it has been 1.5 hours, so I have to go
Oh,
soon. Should we do a blitz without Benny? Because I think he's still
I
busy.
guess so. Yeah.
Oh,
But
dating.
what are we not finished with dating? All
Yes.
right. Dating is
Okay, great. How about
very
this?
naive.
No, I'll
Yeah, go
give you
ahead.
something to answer to. Like, okay, how do you feel about dating? If you have to date now, how would you feel about it? And what do you think of dating in general in today's age?
At one point, from one point of view, it would be somewhat exciting. At the same time, it sounds scary from what I've heard because of the dating apps and how people are now like they have a different perspective on dating, I guess.
Mm,
Well, but that's just a little fear. I feel like maybe it's not that bad. But again, that could be just me naive and having been not dating for so long that I lost contact with the reality.
mm. I feel the same, man.
What
Like,
about you, Jamie?
wait, first of all, do you think we should be in a workshop, like priming ourselves to learn to date? Just for the sake of having that skill, anyway. Uh, but anyway, all right, my blitz round.
I'm I would
I
say no, because that might you feel like what
yeah.
if you become good at it and then you'll
Oh yeah.
be that person that can't really sustain any long-term relationships because the thrill of dating is just too fun for you. I guess it's not horrible. Somehow I see it in a negative life, but a
Ye-
light. But at the same time, it's your decision. If you that's what you want to do in all your life, then
Yeah, but but
it's up
but
to you.
but if I'm your wife and then and I see you practicing dating, I'll be like, okay, it's not so nice.
Maybe I should practice myself, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, blitz round for me. I feel like maybe there should be another episode because dating for me would be different, and in a way, gay dating is even more challenging because if I don't know if it's something to do with
And me and
men. Yeah. And then but what was I thinking? Okay. I feel like nowadays there really has to be sympathy for just everyday men struggling to date. And I feel like we are overdue for a cultural change. I feel like that romanticism, that romantic notion that you need another person to complete you, this notion kind of needs to change. I feel like a person would be much happier if we promote that, oh hey, you should go after your own goals, be passion oriented, do what you want, and we shouldn't shame people for not having a partner. And if we encourage people to chase after their best lives, then they'll naturally be in the best position to date somebody, right? Because they have a good life and they want to share it with somebody else, as opposed to because I've seen so many people now, like including one of my
Mm.
closest friends. He feels like he's half a man. Like he feels like, oh, I need to be dating someone
Oh,
to be a functional human being, and that's just terrible. But yeah, that would
yeah,
be my blitz round. I'll do
that's
the
good.
yeah, I'll do the
It
conclusion.
makes me think of a phrase that you must be happy alone to be
That's true.
very
Yeah.
happy in a relationship.
If you don't love yourself, how you gonna love anybody else? That's RuPaul Drag Race. Oh man, all right. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll be back for the next episode. We're not
Thank
really
you,
sure what we're
everyone.
talking about. Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.